transferred to Manchester United today.
Football predictions.
If Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
A football prediction.
Hello, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with the Moose, and we are doing another episode of the footballpredictions.net podcast covering French Ligue 1 games from the 8th to the 10th of November 2024. And you can see all the details for the matches we're about to discuss in this podcast on our website, footballpredictions.net, along with the fixtures from just about every other football competition that you can shake a stick at.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels, plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers. And you can look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we are about to discuss. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware.
First up, we've got Marseille up in second, who take on Auxerre, who are 10th. This kicks off on Friday, the 8th of November, 8:15 UK time in the evening. And of course, for this game, footballpredictions.net has you covered. You can check our page and you'll find for this match, and you'll find your local kickoff time, betting odds, available viewing options. That includes the League One pass. But if you don't want to pay for a subscription, you can watch it on Bet365, live streamed, live and free. And use our bonus code FP365 to watch that if you're not a member there already. Well, Marseille have bounced back from their loss to PSG with a nice win at Nantes.
Yes, which we predicted here at Football Predictions. We did say that Marseille was going to Nantes and to beat them. We said 1-0. They beat them 2-1 in the end, but nevertheless, a Marseille win. And like you said, Guesty, we had them bouncing back from that defeat to PSG, which we also predicted, by the way. We did predict PSG to go to Marseille and beat them. And prior to that, we also predicted Marseille to win in their away game at Montpellier. They beat them 5-0 away from home. Now, in this game against Auxerre, they're playing an Auxerre team who is not in bad form at all. After a start to the season, probably they would like to forget already. But they had 4 defeats from their first 5 matches. So they picked up just 3 points from their first 5. However, in the last 5 games, they picked up 10 points, 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat. That defeat was at Saint-Etienne. But that's a few matches ago. Their most recent game ended with a 4-0 home win against Rennes. And their last away game, they picked up a point at Lyon. That game ended 2-2. In a game where we said over 2.5 goals. And then prior to that against Rennes, it ended 2-1 at home to Auxerre. So yeah, overall, Auxerre not looking too bad. But at Marseille, who is very much a team that likes to... They pull in some good results away from home because they've won 5 games out of their 6 away games. At home, they've struggled a little bit more. They just picked up 1 win from 4. And like we said, they lost their last home game against PSG. But here against Auxerre, we think that Marseille might just be too strong for Auxerre.
Yeah, the match looks like it's probably only going to go one way. I mean, Marseille haven't been beaten in the league by Auxerre in the last 7 games. But by the same token, Auxerre do tend to score, and they score frequently. In the last 6 games, they've scored 14 goals, and they've scored in every game. This is the important part of that. I mean, they have conceded 9 in those games, but they always tend to score a goal. So, yeah, we have gone for the Marseille to win. You can get odds of 1.4 for that, but our tip here is actually both teams to score. So, better odds as well. So you can get 1.7 for both teams to score prediction.
Yep.
And for a correct score prediction in this one, we have actually gone for 2-1. Odds there 8.5. And interestingly, in our poll, 72% of you believe it'll be an overwhelmingly Marseille win. Only 12% give Auxerre any hope of the win, with the rest going for a draw, which is about 16% of you. Do vote on that website, by the way. It's where we collect some useful alternative data of what a lot of people think. A lot of people vote in these as well. Yeah, Marseille odds 1.4, like I said. Draw, you can get at 5, and odds of an Auxerre win at 7, way out at 7. So, yeah, not much hope really for Auxerre in this one. So we do think it will be that Marseille win with both teams to score. Next, we've got Strasbourg, who who are ninth, taking on Monaco, who are up in third at the moment. This one kicks off on Saturday, 9th of November, 4 p.m. UK time. And for this game, of course, go to our page on footballpredictions.net. You'll find it in the clickable links if you can get that on your podcast version of this. And you'll see your local kickoff time, your local betting odds, and available viewing options. You can live stream this one on a Bet365. You can watch it. Use our bonus code FP365 to watch it for free and with no subscription. And Strasbourg actually came off with a bit of an unexpected loss in their last game, but Monaco did well. Monaco have been struggling in League One a little bit of late, but been doing well in the Champions League.
Yes, if we start with Strasbourg, because this season they've done really well at home. They picked up majority of their points and wins at home. They've not won away from home yet. So at home, 3 wins and 2 draws for Strasbourg so far. Last time they played at home was the previous weekend, where they beat Nantes 3-1 at home. We did predict Strasbourg to win that game, but like you just said, Gersti, they then traveled to Saint-Etienne and lost 2-0. And before that Nantes game, they lost 4-2 at PSG. But yeah, any team will struggle against PSG these days. Nevertheless, Strasbourg at home, still unbeaten, and have looked pretty solid with their 11 points so far from 11 games. And interestingly, they're playing a Monaco side who, yes, in the Champions League midweek, they went to Bologna. We had an under 2.5 goal prediction on that game. It ended 1-0 to Monaco, but Monaco is coming. They're traveling to Strasbourg on the back of 2 defeats in Ligue 1 this season. That's their 2 only defeats all season, because prior to that, they had 8 games where it was going really well for Monaco with 6 wins and 2 draws. However, they then traveled to Nice and lost 2-1. And then most recently, probably the biggest surprise of the 2, they lost 1-0 at home to Angers. But yeah, a nice bounce back at Bologna, 1-0, because we know how tricky Bologna can be to play against. They don't lose much, but they do tend to draw a lot in the Serie A. So that was a good win for Monaco, and it might just be enough for them to kind of pick themselves up a little bit in Ligue 1 as well after those 2 defeats against Nice and Angers.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, this one. It's kind of balanced these teams in terms of their last few results. Monaco kind of dropped the ball a little bit, if you like, in the league anyway. Strasbourg, however, have not beaten Monaco in the last 4 matches in the league. And but by the same token, Strasbourg at home are undefeated in their last 6. So yeah, we think this is going to be a tricky game. So we've gone for a both teams to score prediction, and you get odds there of only 1.5. But we think that might be the safest bet for this one. But if you force us to make a decision, which we always do, we think Monaco will probably get the win, and you can get odds of that of 2.05 at the moment. That's the best you'll see that I can see online anyway. Yeah, Bet365 are the best odds here in the UK, and if you're looking for a correct score, we've gone for 2-1 to Monaco. Odds of that you can get at 9 or 8-1. And interestingly, in our poll, yeah, an overwhelming 62% of you believe it will be a Monaco away win. Only 15% like Strasbourg, with the other 23%. So quite sizable, more than the Strasbourg win, going for a draw. Odds of the draw, by the way, 3.7 you can get. And if you did like a Strasbourg win, 3.3 is what you can get for that. So yeah, Monaco fairly overwhelmingly the favourites to win the game with the bookies, and we like the both teams to score ourselves. Probably a safer bet, but let's see how it goes. Next, we've got Lens, who are in 7th position, take on Nantes, who are 14th, and this kicks off on the 9th of November, of course, Saturday, 6 p.m. UK time. It's an evening game there. Go to footballpredictions.net, our page on our website, for your local kickoff time, betting odds, and all the broadcast streaming options available to you in your area, one of which is Bet365. We can watch that and like all these League One matches on Bet365, and use our bonus code FP365, and you can watch it for free and subscription free, which is great. Lens have been beaten in the last 2 League One games, so not heading in the right direction, are they?
No, and that comes on the back of an unbeaten run an unbeaten run, or should we say start to the season, because for the first 8 games, Lens recorded no defeats, 3 wins and 5 draws from the first 8 games. However, now Lens has lost the last 2, bit like Monaco there, unbeaten in the beginning and then lost the last 2 games. However, again, the last game was an away game to PSG. We predicted quite a heavy defeat for Lens in that game, but they ended up only losing 1-0. Now, it was the game before that probably took everyone by a little bit of a surprise. They lost 2-0 at home to Lille. And before that, Lens recorded the only win actually for the last 8 matches, and that was at Saint-Etienne. They won 2-0 at Saint-Etienne. We did predict Lens to win that game, and in the game before that, we predicted a score draw at Strasbourg and a 2-2. Now, for Nantes, equally not in great form at the moment. No wins from 7 matches, so not in great form either. The first 3 matches of the season ended with a draw and 2 wins for Nantes, but since then, Nantes has had 4 defeats from 7 matches and 3 draws, and the last 2 matches has ended in defeats. Those have been 2 defeats that we predicted here on Football Predictions, because last weekend it ended with a 2-1 defeat at home to Marseille. We say Marseille was going to win that game, and we also said that Nantes was going to lose at Strasbourg. They lost 3-1 in that game. When we look at the other home games this season, we had an under 2.5 goal prediction against Nice that ended 1-1. And then I should probably mention the game in between here, because at Lyon they lost 2-0. It ended 2-0 to Lyon, and then we had a both teams to score prediction for Nantes in the home game against Saint-Etienne. But nevertheless, Nantes is playing away from home in this game. They did win at the beginning of the season at Montpellier 3-1, but since then, no wins in the last 3 away games. And in fact, they have 2 defeats in the last 2 away games. We do think that in this game, one of these 2 teams is going to turn their form around. And who is it going to be?
Yeah, Lens seem to win these games, don't they, between these 2? They've not lost a league game with Nantes in their last 5 games in total. Although they haven't won themselves at home in their last 3 league matches, like we said. So, but one of those was that has some tricky ties. So it's not going to be necessarily the same for this game. And we think Lens will win. You can get odds there of 1.62, but our tip for this one is actually under 2.5 goals, and you can get odds of that for 1.8. We do think it will be a fairly convincing win, though, and we've gone for a correct score prediction of 2-0, so just keeping it under that 2.5 goals. The 1-0 or 2-0 will do that for you, and you can get odds of a correct score prediction of 2-0 at 7 at the moment. That's 6-1 in fractional. In our poll, 55% of you think Lens will win, only 18% Nantes, and the other 27% think it will be a draw. Let's see how it goes. But the odds of a Lens win, 1.62, 3.9 for a draw, and 5.5 for a Nantes victory. In our last featured game, we've got Angers 15th, who take on high-flying PSG in first, as usual. And this one kicks off on Saturday, 9th of November, 8 p.m. UK time. You go to footballpredictions.net, go to our page on our site, and you'll find your localized kickoff time, betting odds, and all the broadcast streaming options available to you in your area. You can live stream this on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 to watch it live, free of any subscription. You just have to have any unit of currency deposited, 1 unit of it, or have placed a bet in the last 24 hours, and you can just live stream this one. So, Angers doing pretty well considering the start of the season.
Yes, and it's quite interesting how we have some teams in the French league here who were unbeaten for the first 8 games of the season. And now we have Angers, who hadn't won a game for the first 8 matches of the season, but have gone on to win the last 2 games. But guess what? Their first win of the season, that was a 4-2 home win against Saint-Etienne in their latest home game. And we predicted that home win because we said Angers were going on to win that game in a both teams to score match. It ended 4-2 to Angers. Now, the surprise and probably the biggest surprise in League One, or one of the biggest at least this season, that happened last weekend because Angers went to Monaco and beat them 1-0. So this
Yeah.
is an Angers team that's got a lot of confidence at the moment. And actually, you could turn this around because after 8 games, you could say did not won a single game of those 8. However, if you look at their last 7 matches now, they've only recorded 1 defeat. So 2 wins, 4 draws, and just 1 defeat, which was a home defeat to Rennes. So PSG is not going to be in for an easy task here. Now, PSG themselves, they lost midweek at home to Atletico Madrid. That's obviously a different beast to Angers, but still, they lost 2-1 at home to Atletico in the Champions League. But in League One this season, they've been fairly superior. They are 6 points ahead already of second place Olympique Marseille and Monaco in third, who are both on 20. They're going into this game again with full confidence in League One, really. They played 10 games so far. They won 8 and drawn 2. However, those 2 draws did come away from home and happen at Nice and Rennes until PSG in their last away game in League One managed to beat Marseille 3-0. We said 3-1 to PSG in that game, ended 3-0. We also said that PSG were going to beat Lens 2-0 last week and to beat them 1-0. So overall, PSG obviously in League One, they're cruising, they're in great form. But we do think that it's not going to be an easy task at Angers. It's not going to be straightforward for PSG here when we look at these 2 teams and the form they're in.
Yeah, the thing about Angers is they had that great win, but they also tend to score. I mean, they do concede, of course, but they've shown they can score. So in the last 6 games, they have scored. The last 6 league games, and they've only conceded in 5 of those. So looking at that, it gives you an indication of what I'm about to say. We are going for both teams to score prediction. I mean, you can bet on PSG to win, but you'll only get odds of 1.22 for that, which is, of course, what we've predicted, because it's hard to go against PSG on any day of the week, but especially when they've had 29 away league matches in a row of being undefeated. So we don't think that's about to change here. PSG to win 1.22 odds, but our both teams to score prediction for this one will get you odds of 1.8, which is a lot more healthy. And judging by Angers, they do tend to score in all the games that they've been playing recently. So let's hope that continues on here. We've gone for a fairly narrow margin of victory. We've gone for a 2-1 to PSG. Odds of that you can get at 9.5, but we think they'll get the job done, as they usually tend to do. And if you're brave enough to go for an Angers win, you can get odds of 12, and a draw is up at 6.5. But PSG's hot favourites odds on for this one, and we think that'll continue. Only 13% of you think in our poll that Angers will win, 67% PSG, the rest a draw. So that's what we're going to hang our hats on for this one. Now going to our summary games, we've got Nice in 5th, take on Lille in 4th. Should be a good close game. This one kicks off on Sunday, I should say, 10th of November at 2 p.m. UK time. And you can live stream this, use our bonus code FP365 on Bet365, and you'll be able to watch it free and subscription free. So it should be a really good game. We think it'll be close. We've got both teams to score down for this one, and we think it'll be a draw with the score of 1-1.
Yes, moving on to Montpellier in 18th against Brest in 11th. This game kicks off Sunday, 10th of November at 4 o'clock UK time. Another game you can watch live and free on Bet365 with a funded account using bonus code FP365. Now, Montpellier in terrible form at the moment. We're going with a Brest away win. So a Brest win under 2.5 goals, and Brest correct score 1-0.
Next up, we've got Havre, who are 17th, take on Reims, who are in 8th at the moment. And this one kicks off on Sunday, the 10th of November at 4 p.m. UK time. You can live stream it on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 to watch it live, free, and subscription free. Now, for this one, We have gone for an under 2.5 goals game. We think it'll be close. There's been quite a few 1-0s involving Abra lately. The last two results in League One have been 1-0. In fact, the last Reims game was also 1-0. So we've gone for a 1-0 away win to Reims. And let's see how that one goes.
Yes, moving on to Rennes in 13th against Toulouse in 12th. Another game that kicks off on Sunday, 10th of November, 4 o'clock UK time. And of course, another game you can watch live and free on Bet365 using the bonus code FP365 on sign up for this game. We're going with a narrow Rennes win. We're going Rennes to win in a both teams to score game and a correct score of 2-1 to Rennes.
Finally, we have Lyon in the 6th, who take on Saint Etienne, who are in 16th. So on Sunday, 10th of November, 7:45 UK time in the evening. You can live stream it on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 to watch it for free, subscription free, along with all these other League One matches. For this one, we have gone for a both teams to score as well. And we think the score is going to favour Lyon. We've gone for a Lyon win with the correct score being 3-1 to the home team. And it's worth mentioning, if you are planning on live streaming these games on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply, 18 plus gamble aware, and make sure to use our bonus code FP365 if you're a new customer.
Yes, and in the description area of this podcast, you'll find the links to the matches we've just covered, or just go directly to footballpredictions.net. That's where you'll find the online sources to watch the games from your location via streaming and TV channels, our tips for different betting markets, team news, plus the best offers and odds.
And if you weren't aware, we do record these podcasts for a number of different competitions, in addition to League One, and you can listen to them all at podcast.footballpredictions.net, or of course, where you usually get your favorite podcasts from, such as YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We're basically everywhere. That's it. Well, thanks for listening. And until the next time, it is.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
A football prediction.